Good morning, everybody. So I said I was going to make a YouTube video on Britney Spears' book because I had just listened to her book on audio through Audible, and also I looked up the chapters on YouTube. Okay, these are my honest opinions about what I feel about her book and how she written it. And of course, everybody's been speaking about it. It's been on the New York best-selling Times author, and it didn't surprise me when she had so many different fans, from being the queen of pop to really just, dealing with her mental health journey and her situation with Justin Timberlake, which I made a previous video about Justin Timberlake and what I thought he really did to her. Justin Timberlake is a very narcissistic, womanizing type of person. But I want to go back to her, overall mental health journey and how she dealt with her conservatorship for over 13 years. Okay. Um, when I heard that she was going through a conservatorship and how she was dealing with her father, her emotionally abusive father, and her sister, Jamie Lynn Spears, they were really, really hurting her, threatening her, making her feel lesser than a person. When I saw and I heard that about her story and what she really went through, with the conservatorship and her mental health journey and, the medication that she was put on for her bipolar disorder, the lithium, me being in the healthcare profession, I just realized that, what she was going through was like going through hell and back. I had my own, trauma, childhood trauma. I went through a lot of battles with dealing with my mother, who dealt with a lot of mental health issues. She had schizoaffective disorder. But when I heard her talk about in her book that, she had went through a lot dealing with California's you know attorney, and she had to go in front of a judge to get her out of, the justice system. It is crazy the amount of stressors that she had to go through. It must have been a very distressful situation. A lot of allegations were made. She shaved her head, and that goes back to what Justin had did to her. Justin really hurt her a lot. I just saw her Twitter post when she had stated that, it was all in the past. She didn't do that to offend anybody. She had a lot of, wounds going through her. And I can only imagine because, she had, fell in love with Justin Timberlake, and Justin Timberlake really, he just really, really, really upset me, because I'm just like, the fact of the matter is, you don't treat women like that. You don't treat women with disrespect. You don't go and date multiple women and then try to get some publicity out of it and make, statements to say that you're okay. He did not do right. I didn't see any justice coming out of that whole situation between Justin and Britney Spears, because he had, if he was a real man, he would have never thought about telling Britney to have an abortion. That was the first thing that crossed my mind. When she said that she had an abortion during that time, even though they were teenagers, I truly believe that Justin needed to step up and say, well, I had sex with you, this, that, and the other, and, they had a child. This unborn child had gotten killed because of the fact that, he didn't take responsibility for being, having sex with her. That's just simply put, and so, like, I think all the trauma that she went through, all the wounds that she went through in her childhood, she brought that and wrote it in her book. I really believe that that's the reason why she wrote her book to begin with, was to heal from her narcissistic abuse that she went through. Those things, it really eats up the heart a lot. It really does. I've been through my own mental health journey dealing with people who have emotionally abused me in my past. I've had people that hurt me, criticize me, put me down, it really is a triggering thing. It really hurts your mental health a lot. This is the reason why I'm making this video, is because I want to be very transparent with the fact that, anxiety disorders are very common with people who deal with childhood trauma. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a very common symptom of people who deal with childhood trauma. My mom has undergone through so much. I've had to have legal, conservatorship over my mother, which I will not go into details about because that is personal, personal and confidential things that I've had to deal with my mother legally. But I just wanted to really make this video and really inspire women to stop going, and dealing with emotionally abusive guys. We are attracting these guys because it's a familiar to our, what we've been used to. And when you saw Justin and Britney together when they were teenagers, it was like the it couple, like they were madly in love with each other. And so I could see why, that had happened, but it was just crazy, after he had dated, you know, it was Jessica out, Jessica Biel, he married her, and then he dated some other person, and he had dated so many different women. These women fall to being just basically in this whole, if you think about Law and Order, and these people have to go and get checked out because they've been sexually assaulted or raped, or and the things that Brittany really went through was just like she was going through a trial in her life where she felt like her voice wasn't being heard. And so when I heard that, I was just like, my God, like, how can people treat other people like that, especially a woman, And so a lot of women, um, honestly, in my opinion, go through a lot of being vulnerable and being in relationships and thinking that, that relationship is going to be all that they pictured it to be. And I know the headline media and just the tabloids in itself was just probably going crazy because, celebrities get that quite a bit. But I'm very, like, I had to post up on Justin Timberlake's Facebook post about, and several people were talking about it. Like, all you think about all the fans that Justin Timberlake had when he was in NSYNC. I was a fan of NSYNC myself. I was a 90s baby fan. Like, I really thought that Justin was like ideally a really handsome guy. He really, he took over the being the king of pop, but overall, I just feel like, what he did to Britney, it was horrible. It was horrifying when I heard that. And honestly, it really did shock me about how he treated her. And because, she had shaved her head because she was going through so much pain and agony and, losing weight, I'm sure of, having an eating disorder, most likely because of all the pain that she went through, and it was crazy. And losing custody of her kids to Kevin Federline, that was just too much. I just, she was going through, drug addiction, and most likely alcohol was used, substance abuse and things like that. But I just feel like she needed justice for her situation, and that's the reason why she wrote her book. And all of her fans were, I was watching a YouTube video and they were talking about freeing Britney. So I'm just happy that now she is now healing, and she wrote that book to heal. And I really do hope and wish and pray that she is in a better mind space now than she ever was before. It can only cause more problems when you're not addressing the problem. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this YouTube video. I just really wanted to really bring it out to the open, and hopefully this video inspires women to really speak out about their mental health journey, and to really, just be vulnerable with speaking out. If you have to seek a healthcare professional, a therapist, or a social worker, or whoever you need to speak to in order to getting help from emotional abusers. NPD is very serious, people. Don't take that lightly. When somebody is narcissistic, abusive, please take that very seriously. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this YouTube video, and I was able to clarify with all the things that I had went through. And just stay tuned on to my other videos, you guys. I hope you guys have a great and blessed Saturday.